Dear Venerable sisters and brothers, Dhamma friends, we are going to start the day's talk. May everyone settle down for the talk and give the consent with 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Katami tayo dhamma vishesha bhagya tini kusala moolani ti. Dear Venerables, Dhamma friends, we are on the way progressing in learning 3 wholesome roots. And to come into the subject of wholesome roots, we always referred comparatively, relatively, with unwholesome roots, understanding unwholesome and then the lack of it, the overcoming of it. Is the wholesome, whenever unwholesome roots are powerful, it's put down, diminution, degradation happens. Whenever the wholesome roots or absence of an overcoming of the unwholesome happens, it's a natural upliftment or natural distinction happens. So they are universal laws or cosmic laws. So therefore, by participating in a retreat like this, or by listening to talks like this, or by interviews, can we understand the mechanism, how to be aware about the unwholesome part and effortful to not to do it by recognizing the very unwholesome roots, and can within life we can change from that unwholesome roots to wholesome roots, and can we witness it? Can we verify it? So if that is the case, we are better off, even though we have committed so much of unwholesome things, knowingly or unknowingly. By studying the Tipitaka and by practicing, it's very clear, it is never too late. Never too late. There is enough time for you to understand, but it must be very systematic. It must be, that is why we call Patipada. It must be systematic and never too late. So without any hesitation we can recommend someone. Please come and see, this is the way. So in that sense we have presented so far during this series of talks, lot of citation, quotations, as well as the practical side. So I thought of being the last talk today in the series to explain the same thing with the 4 limbs of striving, where the Buddha presented Satara Samyak Pradhan Virya, and it is quite parallel with the explanation we have so far associated. So soon after the presentation of 4 foundation of mindfulness, the Buddha is presenting in the 37 factors of enlightenment the 4 limbs of success and 4 limbs of striving. 4 limbs of striving, or Satara Samyak Pradhan Virya, the first and foremost is, you must be aware the already arisen, unwholesome roots in your mind. And try to keep the present moment free of unwholesome thing. It says, uppannānaṁ anuppannānaṁ pāpakānaṁ akusalanam dhammanam na uppadāya chandang janeti vāyamati viryang ārabati cittam paggannāti padhāti. That means it's a general aspect, it's a given data that the next moment is utterly pure. unless otherwise you add something, you commit something. So knowing that, how can I keep that rising thought moment, the next thought moment to happen, undefiled? So if you are at household, if you are with the sense pleasure, you know the right round things bombarding and some or the other defile your stream of consciousness, next thought moment. So as far as you are in such situation, you find very difficult to secure. So that is why we come to the forest and live with such meditators, those who are already with precepts. And even then it is impossible. Even if you renounced, even if you go and sit in the meditation hall, still mind may be infested not with the transgressional kind of defilement, but with the obsessional kind of defilement, that is to say, nivaranas or hindrances. So when that happens, there's a technique, there's a method. The nivarana is a disease, there's a medicine. So if the transgression or transgressional type of defilements are there, if that is the disease, moral restraint is the medicine. With the nivarana or obsessional kind of defilements, if you consider this when you are not at ease, or you are in dis-ease in sitting, basically it is because obsessional, then the medicine is concentration restraint. And whatever the moral restraint you have, it will never answer to this question. This is answering only the transgressional type. And the concentration restraint never answers the transgressional kind of defilements, but it's a precondition. Without transgressional kind of defilements keeping a bay, you can't even try for concentration restraint. So therefore when you are doing it, the Buddha, the technique he presents is keep your mind in a non-material, repetitive medium object. Apply your mind again to a materialistic object which you can verify. That is why you can't start with immaterial thing. So that is why we are taking our body, our very body, as the object of meditation, wherever you may be, whatever the posture you are. Yatha yathava kayo panihito hoti, tata tatanam pajanati. Whatever the display you are in, be aware. As far as you are aware, your posture, or if your mind is within your body in the sense, so that is the technique. So much so, your mind stream of consciousness is protected, secured, there won't be any infestation. The unarisen defilements will never come and invade you. So therefore it is a 1/4 of our meditative life as a mendicant. So, but it is very important, very interesting, it is groundbreaking, verifiable state, how long you can be mindful, how long you can keep the mind with the neutral object, equanimous object, repetitive object, verifiable object. To label a few, breath is such a thing. Rising and falling is such a thing. Left and the right is such a thing. All kind of objects, that is fairly common nowadays. So as far as you are with it, may or may not be that you are aware of it, may or may not be that you can't verify it, being a beginner, being a person without much of theory understanding. But whenever you are successful in keeping long period, maybe few breath cycles, or few rising and falling cycles, or few steps, there you can see something different. You feel stream of consciousness, something different, it is tamed. It is docile. I can, more than yesterday, I can keep the mind with primary object, sitting or walking. Of course, we can expand it to our day-to-day activities also. So this is a kind of a thing. The first 25% of your endeavorance or your energy is being successful. You are endowed with the stream, no tension, no frustration. So in this context, the frustration and tension is considered as the unwholesome, or result of unwholesome mind, or result of untamed, unrestrained mind. Whenever there is no tension and frustration, it considered as wholesome. But the thing is, can you verify when the mind is no tension and no frustration? That is very subtle thing. No one is aware. When you have the tension and frustration, you know how to make complaints. You know how to go and ask the psychiatrist. Or you can quarrel with your partner. That happens. But when there is no tension, no frustration, you feel boring. So you never concern, you never consider. So when I am alone, when I am solitude, when I am in contented way, no frustration, no tension, but you feel uneasy. There's a kind of a uneasiness. You feel like cornered. You feel like decasted. You feel like no one is interested in me. Now I am like outdated coin. So that is the part you have to learn. Whenever you have friction, whenever you have disease, whenever you have defilement, whenever you are with the tension and frustration, you can apply the mindfulness in the universal way. Each and every mindful retreat is to get rid of this disease, get rid of this, or to give the cure, therapy, healing. This is very dramatic. You can make commodity out of that. Mindfulness become a business Buddhism. Because that whenever the frustration happens, you can talk and you can shape and you can quantify and you can apply mindfulness and do. But when the frustration is gone, what are the symptoms? We can't call symptoms because it is not a disease, but you make kind of a symptom out of that. That is what you call the boredom and frustration. Have you ever seen any meditator in the world not met up with boredom and frustration? That means meditation is such an effective thing. But you misinterpret. And the teachers also, they have no guts to explain it. So therefore they give one or the other alternative and they are just passing the baby, never facing. So to conclude the first 55%, or to conclude the first starting point of the unreasoned defilement, you must understand comparatively mind with tension and mind without tension. That you have to listen to the already enlightened beings, their utterance. But we are not listening. We are listening to Michael Jackson. We are listening to Sasha. Do you think they will come and tell you that how to not to be frustrated? So this is what happened. So if ever you have to understand, there is something very close relationship with solitude, close relationship with this the self-contentment. Even if it is given, you will appreciate. You wanted to have the better half. Males are always asking the females. Females are always asking males. And they are thinking, it is not complete if without the better half. We must have luxurious thing. We must have materialistic thing. We must have the fame, gain and everything. So ultimately what you do is, you are utterly claiming, declaring, challenging your own solitude. We are born with. It is nothing additional. So the day you try to understand the nature of the mind without tension, nature of mind without the frustration, is it a concept mere or is it something tangible? Very difficult. Imagine, one day you will understand how to appreciate and how to arrive at a no frustration, no tension, and to promote it, to facilitate it, and to look forward, and to meet with people, that kind of appreciation. It is not so deprived, it is available, that you are not looking at it. You are looking at all the Hollywood idols, and the politicians, economists, socialists, bloody fools. They are the killers. 6 detrimental elements. Neil Ferguson is analyzing the economic history. I am not telling he is enlightened. He says the banking, the newspaper, pharmaceutical industry, politicians, rules and regulation in the jurisdiction, utterly killers. They are the you are tapping. And the medical science. So you wish your child to be a doctor. You wish your child to be a lawyer. You wish your child to be executive in this and that. It's a kind of it's very common. Because you don't know how to appreciate lack of frustration and lack of tension. That contentment. Imagine, we some or the other, after paying our due cost, one day we have to appreciate the solitude, one day we have to appreciate the contentment within, rather than in the luxury and the fame and the gain and kind of thing. Then still you may find, while you are keeping the mind with the primary object fairly good, and so gaining the grounds, increasing the tension, the momentum, and there you can find, meanwhile, visual objects come and disturb you. Sounds come and disturb you. Thoughts come and disturb you. And you have a particular reaction to thoughts, particular reaction to sounds, particular reaction to, and it is in such a way, when you assume I am a very innocent yogi, why should there may be any sounds, thoughts, pains? Can we make a meditation center without any sounds, soundproof? And we can make a meditation cushion, not to give any pain, and to have any thoughts. You never believe your reaction to thought, your reaction to sound, your reaction to pain is matters. The only thing matters. So therefore, after achieving the first part, already unarisen defilement to not to arise, then you have to learn the second part of the art, how to tackle with already arisen defilements. They are creeping into your stream of consciousness due to your past life memory, due to your way you develop your life, your childhood experience, and due to the scripts your parents put into your mind, due to the scripts your teachers put into your mind, due to the script your religious masters put into your mind. So you are living with that kind of upbringing, so naturally you think when the thought happens, I have to worry. I must react. When the sound happens, I must complain to the retreat organizer or to the meditation center. No. I can be so much of expenditure and time wasting and kind of, how come? Dogs are barking. The monkeys are making noise. No, it is unfair. Or any pain happens. So this meditation hall is fairly poor. If you go to a foreign meditation hall, you keep all the kinds of cushions, meditation chairs. They try their best to have least friction and sit in very comfortable way. Pandita Sayadaw says, when you are traveling, how much airfare you pay for your cushions? You are traveling half the way along the globe to the other meditation center. There you can't find cushions, so you carry so much of things because they think by sitting on a proper, well-angled and cushioned the pillow, you will be with no pain. The very first retreat I participated was 1979. Munindraji from India came, and we were in a Catholic church, Patima retreat, near the Mahavali river. And he says, even if you are sitting on a cushion of air, pain is there. There's no way. People think only my problem is pain, therefore when the pain happens, reaction is natural. So therefore how can I maintain? Already develop mindfulness. So you are thinking about not to arouse the pain. You never think not to react to the pain. You never think not to react to the sound. You never think not to react to the thoughts. I am just citing thoughts, pain and the sounds. So whenever it happens, the day you can understand red-handed, your reaction to the thought, your reaction to the sound, your reaction to the pain, it appears like a hatred. Whenever it happens, you become inferiority complex and you attribute to someone. So, simple thing is, not very simple it is easy, simple to me to tell. Then Sariputta says, main thing is not to worry, don't hate this situation, understand, when the pain happens from outside, you react and there the pain become double. The Buddha says in the Salla Sutta, in Sangyutta Nikaya, Vedana Sangyutta, when a pain happens, it's like a peg or it's like a dart in your mind, in your leg. Of course it's painful. But imagine another dart happen on the same place, then it becomes unbearable. The second dart is your reaction. If the second dart is not happening, that original pain is of course painful, bearable. But it becomes unbearable because of the second dart. Salla means the dart. You are reacting. Exactly the pain, exactly the sounds, exactly the thoughts. So if you can understand whenever the pain, sound, thoughts coming, your reaction is character type. It is your way. When you are sitting 100 or whatever may be the number of yogis, if you ask individually, one may categorically tell, Bande, my problem is thinking. If the thinking not there, I would have gone enlightened and everything is okay. But I can't stop with thinking. The person sitting close by says, thinking I can manage, but I have a back pain, Bante, right from the beginning throughout the pain. The other person will say, pain and sound, no problem, the birds are chirping. The monkeys are shouting. Dogs are barking. So you select your irritation. You are the person selecting the irritation. All the time dogs are barking. All the time pains are there. All the time thinking are there. You select your killer. And then the reaction also exactly the same. But you never give a radical reflection to understand it. Because you think I am a very innocent person, I am meditating. You see, wherever I go, the sounds are chasing me behind me. Thoughts are chasing. Pains are chasing. So I am waiting till the Buddha to come. At least over there, the thought problem will not be there. Sound problem will not be there. So you are writing so much of books till the thoughts are stopping by itself, or till the Buddha to happen, or pain to start, thought to start. But here, understand the wholesome, unwholesome. The arising pain is not wholesome, not unwholesome. Your reaction is utterly unwholesome. Your reaction also definitely hate. Definitely diminuing. Make you diminuous and drop. So therefore, whenever it is happening, when the pain happens, when you are reacting, if you are patient enough, because my stream of consciousness is now pure. Now the pain happened, now it is, I am getting agitated and tense and I am fighting with the pain. And there I to see how your surge, upcoming of the reaction happens. Whether you are a male or female, young or old, exactly the same. The reaction is exactly the same. So one day you will see, as the pain arises, how intensely I am fighting to get rid of so much of pain become inflicting. And you become defeated. Ultimately you get up angry and get up and go, telling that no more meditation, no more mindfulness because of the pain. But if you are to see the pattern it is happening, the pattern, the reaction happens to the thought, reaction happens to the sounds, exactly the same, it is a universal law. So, as we discussed last 2 days, when we are walking, visual object happens. As it happens, liking, disliking happens. Whenever the liking, disliking happens, the Buddha says a very gross summon to note the arising, now newly arising, rising and liking and disliking. Because earlier there were no liking and no disliking, now liking and disliking happen. It's such a gross thing. Be alert. And it's Paticcasamuppanna, you are the person selected, your killer, your destroyer. Because all the things are always available. And it is Sankatang, you can't imagine one thought moment before, after. It's happening impromptu. So when such a thing happens, your mindfulness is more sharp, just like shooting a jumping animal. It is not like shooting a fixed target. So therefore, Pandita Sayadaw says, arisen, already unarisen defilement and already arisen defilement, he says, a king establishing a new capital, he is elected top mountain area and select the place to put up the mansion or the palace, and right round he put the parapet wall and fixed gates and water barriers and fixing guards with armed, and therefore they are well instructed before anyone comes to question him. Only the supporters must be allowed, the others must be stopped at the gate. So there's a kind of a formal way of protecting. But after a while, imagine there may be some people already inside the parapet wall, and they appear like the supporter of the king, but they are spies. And when such a person is already inside, what is the relationship with the parapet, the wall and the security guard, whatever it may be, this person is already got the membership, but he is with the malice. He is a spy. So people cannot be detected with the formal guards. So king has to fix another spy inside the palace area to see who is suspicious. He is not with the uniform. He is like the citizen inside, but his idea is to see whose behavior is negative. So the first guard, who Pandita to attribute it to your energy. You are noting, not let the unwanted thing to set in, creep in. So it's like a guard. But the second guy is a spy. He is not with the uniform, but is so surveillance. Anyone's inside the parapet wall, or we call citizens, behavior is abnormal, suspicious, he just keep an eye upon that particular person, but he never take action. He can't take action because he has no executive powers. So he observe the person again and again. Is it worthwhile to report that particular person? Is he an innocent person? Like, even he see misbehavior, suspicious behavior, keep on observing. So likewise, Whenever you are walking, you know your guards are working, therefore you can see left, right, no problem. But immediately you see a seeing happens, or hearing, or a thought. So there, whether it will go for liking and disliking and everything, it's something, a kind of a behavior. There should have a someone to understand. Earlier in my mind, no tension, no frustration, no liking, no disliking. Now the tension arises, now the frustration arises, now because of the liking and disliking, preference, or desire, how do you call, pleasurable, unpleasurable. When that happens, who is going to take care? The mindfulness is the one going to take care to see how swiftly, how slowly, how subtle this liking and disliking appear, and ultimately bring up to the point your tension become unbearable. So to note it and to see still you have your early state where no liking and disliking. Now you are with the fighting, liking and disliking. So everything is under your control, which is your jurisdiction. Why you are keep on engaging with this developing tension? Why don't you come back to the already earned neutral object? You are always fighting and eating and going and engaging with this tense one, leaving aside the peace of mind. So that ignorance, that kind of motivation, that kind of prompting is known as directed dispositions. You are normally reacting with that, and it is not in the present moment, it is something you acquired in your childhood, the last life. Or someone give a script, you have selected without question. So this part, the Western psychology never thought about. So therefore, Western psychology is still unborn baby on that side. They don't believe. Sometimes Sigmund Freud try his best to attribute to the childhood memory to explain the other misbehavior and kind of thing. But the perversion, you wish not to see it. Well, it's a phobia. Therefore, psychiatrist has to design methods and ways so that one day you will talk. But it is in your subconscious. You can attribute it to that. So therefore it is called counseling. It's called free association. By associating, the psychiatrist must understand he or she don't believe there's such a character trait inside. Because it is not happening now. It is already in the memory, in the past. So whenever it happens, whenever it is surface, immediately you become a different person, no more tension happens. Sometimes you quit the hypnotism, go by counseling, by understanding your hidden subconscious, repressed, this thing, it evaporates. So now in meditation, you are the patient, mindfulness is the medicine, you yourself is the doctor. You look at your own psychological wounds. Let them come. They come in terms of thought, sound, pain, whatever may be negative. So if you can welcome, armed with your mindfulness already developed, let them happen. And that welcoming is called catharsis. Let them happen. Don't suppress it. Suppressing is the natural thing you are doing, and it is happening. That very openness to the habituation, openness to your directed dispositions, openness to the underlying tendencies, no one can do it for you. Even Buddha cannot do it. But you must have guts to face it. Usually you don't have it. But if you have the experience of keeping the stream of consciousness with the primary object long, it is developing kind of a personality, kind of a immunity, never mind, let them happen. So this is a sympathy, self-sympathy. And you are letting it happening. So when it happens, already arisen defilements also, you can study. You can let them happen and how it happens. And they are, it's a momentum. It's a kind of a momentum happens. That self-sympathy, main thing is, when such a reaction happens, don't worry. Pamade na kampatiti sati balang. Of course you are not in the present moment, you are engaged and maybe seeing and liking, disliking happen, preference happen, but you know it happen, how it happens. Don't get up and go. Just observe it. While observing, you understand it never happened all of a sudden. It always happened in a gradual way. Therefore, you can apply the clutch and the brake. Anytime, whenever you see, when it is developing. Of course, at the beginning, you are very late to understand the developing stages. Never mind. Next time, you will try to understand as and when it develops. So much so, you are gaining the grounds regarding already arisen defilement. That's a technical term we are using in the Tripitaka jargon, Tripitaka vocabulary. So that means you are utterly concerned about and don't suppress, don't escape. Just face it. That cannot be, that cannot happen all the time. Very rare occasions only you can see your reaction and you can understand, I am habituated to react like that, never mind. Don't worry. Just see as if a third person, how it happens. So that is why I told to observe as a third person, first and foremost have steadfast mindfulness not only to the primary object but to the secondary object. Not only that, whenever it arises, your reaction. So that sarati, that kind of mindfulness is very, very skillful. Very, very malleable. You can adapt into anything. So it is not a linear system, it's a kind of a very vast kind of opening. And when it happens, you must, vivarati, you must try to, not to escape, but to go into it and understand it's utter healing, utter catharsis. Just observe it without disturbing. Uttani karoti, highlight it. It is more important than keeping the mind with the primary object. Because this is a specific job. If the keeping the mind with the primary object is a doctor's job, understand the reaction is specialist job. Well, you must have skillfulness and then you have to report to someone, then only your knowledge will be reinforced. You can't report, there is no dispensation of the Buddha. With the dispensation of the Buddha, Buddha is inviting, darling, now you are done, please report. By reporting only you are going to get the due benefits. So therefore imagine when we are reborn again, there is no Buddha Sasana and we are striving maybe, no way out. There you understand the opportunity. Now today we have the opportunity. Of course you have to earn it, but we can earn it. And then when you are ready to observe, this is the way it happens. Of course mind went out. I try my best to not to react and just to see how much I can see. And then I wish to report. Today morning, we went to the prison. And halfway, the commissioner came from Maha. And I told him, very good that you came and please come and meditate. Because he was so happy because the prisoners are sitting and walking with us. So he came Then I told, soon I know you will make excuse to go out. Therefore, please, before go, please make the mic and tell your experience. This side the other officers, this side monks, and they are the prisoners. And the commissioner is telling, thank you very much, Pandey, having this such a chance. You personally come and help prisoners. I know you people are hating that I am going out. Never mind, I went there. Prisoner, the commissioner was very happy. But anyway, I thought before 1 o'clock I will come back and compensate yours. So then told Bhante, 10 minutes I sit with you, not a single moment my mind was with the primary object. Thinking about the office, thinking about the household and everything. So therefore whole 10 minutes, I must start with my confess. This is what happened. But I am so happy. Because he did little walking and sitting. And then I told, okay, thank you very much. You are so innocent to tell in front of the officers and the junior officers and the prisoners. And then I told prisoners, I don't know how to label them. I can say inmates or prisoners or whatever maybe, I have to be very careful. And one person told, Bhante, my meditation was best in the walking meditation, not in sitting. I told, never mind. Can you... Yes, when I am walking, the pebbles are coming and hitting and the muddy land and sometimes raining happens and birds are chirping. One person came and opened the tap and other person start cooking and kind of thing. So I asked that when it happens, rain happens, of course I felt some irritation. But other thing happens, I asked, is a sign of mindfulness or distraction for mindfulness? Appear like the touching pebbles and others as a sign of mindfulness. And some of them are irritating. There the reaction happens. So when I keep on questioning, I ask his permission to ask questions. Then I thought it's too much for the first time. But still he can answer. When the reaction happens, I know. When the pebbles are touching, the very touch is a sign of mindfulness. So the other people also started sharing. So this is my way of questioning. When you are meditating, you complain. While barefoot walking, I feel pebbles. I feel mud. I feel raindrops. So is it a sign of mindfulness or distraction for mindfulness? If you are not mindful, you don't know how many steps you took and what, nothing. But here, after a certain extent, reaction happens. That reaction is person-specific. That reaction is circumstantial. So you must understand that indicates paticca-samuppada. That indicates cause and effect relationship. How can you write it just like an essay? Which is happened. So that heals your own character trait. That heals your own directed disposition. And it's a diagnosis. The diagnosis itself is the answer. There's no other thing. That means we are not straightforward in talking. We are perverted. So as far as the perversion happens, unwholesome things are creeping. Whenever you become innocent and report as it is, without adding, without commentaries, unwholesome cannot creep in. Not only that, you are learning how the mind is working. That is very rare. And only that happens when the mistakes are happening. That is the beauty of it. That's the irony in it. So you have to appreciate your own mistake. You have to appreciate your own distractions. And that is the skillfulness. That is what you call the wisdom training. So the Buddha explained, if you have that kind of a preparedness, if you have that kind of a welcoming ideas to the natural distractions happening to your own way, you are worth calling a yogi, and you have anicca. You don't appreciate it whenever the unwholesome thing happens, but you note it. I am specifically get irritated, this kind of a thing. the person sitting by you is not distracted. If you are in a common interviews, you can understand. But if you are doing individual interviews, you can't compare. So therefore, understanding my own specific irritation, my own specific character type, also with you have selected yourself and then only you are complaining. There are a lot of other objects if you wish to select, if you wish to aware, that openness we call mind choiceless awareness. At that time sounds are there, of course, distracting. But thoughts also there, pain also there, primary object also there, but your mind is always engaged with irritating thing. That is what I call the idiot mind, the cussed mind, the ignorant mind, and you try your best to convince it. Oh, very impossible, because daily when I go there, this is the point where I get irritated like. So the master going to say, when it happens, just see the primary object occasionally. Just see whether other distractions are not available. No, you are, that distraction is person specific. So understanding that, if you are ready to understand that, and if you go prepared with that, Buddha is giving, it was not the Buddha is giving, the occasion happened. One day, another disciple of the Maha, another teacher, came to the Buddha. And when he comes, Buddha is appreciating and asking, do your teacher also teach restraint, discipline, moral code? Yes. So I wish to share with you. He says, don't kill. If you kill, you are destined to hell. And therefore, I am not appreciating. Don't steal. If you are stealing, destined to hell. Don't sexual misconduct. No slandering, no lying, blah, 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 blah. It's exactly 5 precepts. 5 precepts is not limited to Buddha. All the masters are there. Then ultimately he says, yam bahulang karoti tat tantang neyati. Whatever you do more frequently is deciding your health. If you are frequently killing, you will go to that particular nether world. If you are frequently robbing, misappropriating, or sexual misconduct, the whatever you do majority of your time is the one deciding. Then the Buddha says, under such circumstances, no will go to the hell, because most of the time you are not killing. And most of the time you are not robbing. Most of the time you can't do sexual misconduct. Most of the time you can't lie, slandering. So therefore, if your master is correct, whatever you do most of the time is deciding the hell, you are naturally good. Occasionally you kill an animal. Occasionally you misappropriate when you go to the office. That can happen. It is my hobby to rob books from the libraries. That is I have a kleptomania. Whatever the security you put, I will tell you, I demonstrate you lifting books. Very dangerous fellow. And sexual, then Buddha says, usually people never do throughout the mistake. If that is the case, deciding the hell, no one will go to hell. And then the person came, accept the argument, and he defeated. Then the Buddha is making a general statement. He says, Kadahachi karahachi loke uppaddhi tatagato samma sambuddho sopi sikkhapatam panyapeti. Really only Venerable Ananda, a Buddha appears on the earth. He also prescribed precepts. Then Venerable Ananda taking the opportunity, pay respect and bhante out of compassion. Please let me know what's the kind of morality the Buddha is prescribing. The Buddha says, yes, if you kill, you will go to the hell. Stealing and all the kinds of, but if you understand, if you know that you have already killed and it is leading to the hell, I am telling, give the abhayadana. If you have killed animals, save animals now. The Buddha is giving you a compensation. The way out, if you have this, your mind is always self-cursing about killing animals, save animals. If your mind is cursing about robbing, do generosity. If your mind is cursing about the sexual misconduct, give the protection to the sexual objects. Don't misappropriate. If you have lying as a habit, either shut your mouth up or talk only the truth. And if you are drug addicted kind of thing, develop vigilance and diligence. So therefore, if the 5 precepts are broken, the Buddha give a prescription. If you are really, really concerned, now you can start saving animals, generosity, and protecting the vulnerable sexual objects, and have good words and sober life. And then the Buddha says, one day, due to this catalyst effect, he is surpassing all the mistakes he has done by killing, so has given so much of, saved so much of animal. One day, all the killing will be compensated by abhayadana or saving animals. If you have done some robbing, one day, your generosity will overcome everything. So like when it happens, his every accumulated merit is because of understanding of his past mistake. That is the way the Buddha is presenting his morality, to correct yourself, not to destine you to the hell. It is destructive. It is not encouraging someone. So therefore, if anyone remember, my mind is going out, main thing is not to worry and to do what is you have to do. You must be encouraged rather than discouraging. You must be not entertain inferiority. See, it's a good chance, at least before the death, I know my mistake. So now I have methods. Read the suttas, so much of ways, if the thinking is too much, if the pain is too much, if the sound is too much, then only you can get the proper recipe from the sutta, because you know your disease. It is not a la carte. You can have a special meal. So the normal a la carte will not be happy with you, so the Tripitaka is for that. But without knowing your disease, when you are going to read the Tripitaka, it's boring. No use, no practical value. So then only you are really, really understand why should I save others' lives. Why should I must give, must be generous. Why must I must not misappropriate sexual things and words and not to indulge intoxicants. Otherwise when you do it, there is no practical impact. And then the Buddha says, Ananda, if you know the real karma and karma theory, karma results, those who are doing mistake will go to the heaven. Other people doing all good thing without knowing, they will go to the hell. Because the karma and karma theory is not the narrow thing you know. So therefore, knowing your mistake, do the compensation enormously. Then the Buddha says, take a little bit of water and put the crystal of salt. Then the Buddha is asking, can that the crystal make the little bit of water salty? Yes. Then the Buddha is, take your salt, the crystal, put into the river Ganges. Will the Ganges become salty? No. Why? So much of water, a little bit of salt. So your whole unwholesome thing is like salt. Do wholesome thing like a river Ganges. And then ultimately salt won't make any kind of impact. After giving everything, but still the Buddha says, if you are still regretting about your past, you are definitely destined to hell. You are not a meditator. You don't know how to make use the mindfulness. Sympathize yourself, compensate yourself, and now we have the time till the death. So much of opportunities, change your life, give a reconsideration, and if it is still, if you do not, even if you wish, if you can't do, I feel you have not enough merits from the last life. That's all I can say. You are an utter slave. If you know this is what I have to do, I can't do. Why? Because already created bondages. That can be, that shackles when be broken. You got to do it. That's the way you have the faith on the Buddha. That's the way you have the faith on Dhamma. That's the way you have the faith. Otherwise you are half-hearted. You don't know your mistakes. You doing for the sake of doing, but it won't give an impact like that. So therefore, whenever you understand your mistake, it's a huge treasure. Do the opposite. Compensate it. And when it happens, the Buddha says, just like you climb a mountain, take a horn and blow. And when you're blowing, sounds go limitlessly. Likewise, whenever you become a virtuous person, not to show others, not due to the hell, but you feel like, I have enough time to compensate. I am a Buddha, the disciple of the Buddha. So doing it, you get so much of stamina, the energy, no limits, you can carry on. And then the second part. Third one is, then you understand what does it mean by the meritorious deeds. Till that you don't know. You don't know what is appropriate to your character. You do as the people doing. So therefore, Sabbha Papassa Karnang first, Kusala Supasampada is second. But if you go to the temple, so much of pinkama, they are not worried about the kusala, understand the weakness, but they are doing so much of pinkama. So that how see the Buddhism has been completely put the cart before the horse. Don't criticize it because it is none of our business. But if you wish, put the horse before the cart. First, do no harm. First and foremost is that. And then you are naturally become a meritorious person because you know others' ethical values, you know others' emotional literacy, you know the social intelligence, and then you do what is the friend in need is friend in deed. So you help utility, not for the sake of merit making. I mean, merit making is good, otherwise who is going to give dana tomorrow? But the eating people, if you are doing metta bhavana for a snap of the finger, then only we are worthwhile becoming eating. Others we are at debt. They also must understand, we are not only giving to the monks, we are giving to the lay meditators also because they are utterly dedicated for the meditation. So if they understand it, you see how the merits are developing. It is no mistakes. It's very realistic. So that is how, whenever you understand your own mistakes and make the stream of consciousness already arisen defilement and understand defilements, though you develop the potential, I would say that you realize your capacity, enormous. It is nothing new, you are already endowed with, but it is being overwhelmed, smeared by your cursing yourself, your inferiority. Because you don't know how to cut off this already unrisen and arisen defilements. They are very weak. The mindfulness is so powerful. Whack the fellow. And we are on the way. So when Pandita Sayadaw is explaining it, he's like an army commander. He says, you have given me the weapon, fight. Don't think enemy is so overwhelming. Never. The weakness, the defilements are so weak. When you are using the mindfulness, and there you find you have enormous chances, not only purifying yourself, you can help others, but it is the utility value. And when I started at the age 6, and it took 10 years for me to test it as a layperson, and I did studies, jobs, and the sky is the limit. Each year my salary is getting double. They gave me the driver, they gave me the car, they gave me the bungalow, they gave me the food and everything. And foreign trips on top of that highest amount of money, otherwise I had to pay 50% pay as you earn. So I was like a king. Know that I am just a bumpkin from the village. But when the mindfulness comes into being, the Sutta fellow is shaken. He's asking how you perform so much of things. Then I told, why I am doing one thing at a time, that done well, that's it. So no limits, no friction. And you may ask, if it is so, why Bhante you become a monk? They chase me out. That is a separate story. So, leave it aside. So, it is my blessing in disguise. Otherwise, I can't sit on this chair. And when I become a monk, I knew there's nothing to worry about the others' mistakes. Nothing to worry about your past mistakes. Because future is so open an opportunity. And when it is becoming very obvious, I feel like living with Buddha. I feel like living in Jetavanarama, because that connection is the hotline. No intermediate person and no friction in my cable, no corruption. You can see. Then enormous opportunity for the merits, so-called merits. And that all merits come doing nothing. By doing nothing. When the mind is settling, that is ultimate compassion. So everyone come and thank me, Bhante, you are very compassionate. I have no compassion at all. I whacked the fellow. Why? My name was Karunaratna. It's irony. Presently I have no any compassion. I say this is the open table. You serve as you like. I have no any saying. I am not poking fingers into your life. The Dhamma is not mine. Satya, mindfulness is not mine. It's the Buddha. The way you serve, I can find whether you are half-hearted or not. It is up to you. So therefore, ever merits are, the top-class merits are happening. And not only that, you have to foster. You have to promote it. Already arisen skillfulness to grow unhindered. That means repetitive application. And to make it very juicy, to make it very sappy, I would tell you, when I am with the meditators, how much I am gaining. You don't know. You always pay respect to me. Have I ever paid respect to you? Never. I am very cussed. But imagine 10 years, 20 years I am living with yogis. They are sharing unconditionally with me. I am such a the lucky person. They are unrelated to me. They may not be the Buddhist. But they are coming and sharing with me unconditionally. So I feel after 216 retreats, how much you have improved. Where? From where? We ourselves appreciating each other. Luckily, New Zealand I go once in 2 years. They noticed, this Dhammajiva is not the last time Dhammajiva. Talks are different. The presentation is different. No, it is not my own thing, it is due to the interaction, but we are good forces, good things are coming together, that we call fostering. Facilitating, it is not single hand clap. To the clap to happen, you have to have both hands. So, fellow meditators is making an atmosphere, it's a macro atmosphere, unthinkable. So, Venerable Jnanarama used to say, even if you are living with meditators, you are naturally improving. You have nothing to meditate. Because others meditate and share with you. You have to say, good, thank you, that's it. You are just like a baby, getting the love of all the parents. So you must know the art of how to live with meditators rather than other idiots. It's a skill. It is a skill. You have to always associate people true to type, and they are always meditating and sharing unconditionally. And there you find that sasana is working. It's very dynamic, it's a dialectic. But you have to, you have to be on the water, you have to have kind of a skill, swimming skills, not to sink into. And then sasana is working. So therefore we started with utterly unwholesome state. When the Buddha came and told, this is unwholesome, I came to you to tell there's a wholesome part. What is that? Not to do this. Then three type of restraint, moral restraint, concentration and wisdom. And when it's going there, you yourself can see. Earlier I had this kind of traits, but whenever I notice it, I feel so happy because of the mindfulness. All the weaknesses I see as weaknesses, it is not a weakness. I am repeating. Whenever you see weakness as weakness, it is not a weakness. It's a knowledge. Negative multiplied by negative become positive. So don't hide your mistakes, just share with it, and then you find so much of other people, they are very innocent, they are very happy to share with, whatever the creed, whatever the gender, and they are kind of a spark, thesis, antithesis and synthesis like, kind of a spark happens. So when that happens, you see, you are also taking a part, but you can't yourself do it. There should have another partner, another hand to have the clap. So therefore all the distractions, all the fellow meditators, everything is the other part of the clap. Don't try to avoid it. Just see your reaction. So this explains the highest amount of mindfulness, the skillfulness of the mindfulness. Naturally, you go to the wholesome state. Everything will be compensated, excused, and then you can share with others. So therefore don't underestimate yourself. There are really soldiers in the battlefield. So keep on your morality. If you are morally down, you will get defeated. You must keep on fighting. When it's happening, not only you are changing from the unwholesome to wholesome, you are setting a role model. So Venerable Jnanarama was so concerned about slowly, mindfully, silent. Then I wonder why you are so much of discipline, because you have done your job. Then he says, no, when I die, when I passed away, what is the role model I am going to leave is applicable to the sasana. Not the defeating and the gain you are getting after your death. What is the people going to remind you? So therefore, keep yourself always as a role model, and it is not imitation. So therefore, even if you go up to the higher caliber, you always discipline yourself. Even the Buddha, even the Maha, they maintain their austere practices even after the enlightenment. So that part is incomprehensible. Why they are so restrained? Why they are still concerned? Because we people come after 2600 years later. If they are not setting the example, not only by words and the letters, it won't work. That's the silent sermon. Their behavior is talking more than verbal. So therefore each and every one of us must understand, now heavy responsibility after 2600 we are shouldering. So therefore have your own positive thinking, possibility and the potential, and live up to the already enlightened beings. I am not asking you to assume and telling I am Arahant and I am Sotapan. No, that nonsense I am not talking. But I am to take the example and carry on. For that I hope this talk as well as the series will be helpful. Thank you very much for listening.